Good evening and welcome to an off the bike episode. This weekend has been pretty shit for going out on the bike, just for going out on the bike rather than doing something. So I thought I'd do something that I've been promising or threatening to do for a little while, which is go back to a review of the gloves that I've been using. So I did a review of one set before, but one set I have not talked about before. So let's do that. Okay, first up, the Knox 02 Outdry, which I did a video on before, soon after I got them. And they were, I had reasonably nice things to say about them. So this is the 6 month or so I've had them review. So I'll go through in fairly random order. They are holding together nicely. There's no threads hanging out, or the Velcro is still good on them. There hasn't been any deterioration in what they are. You shove your hand in and it's still lovely and soft and comfortable, and just taking them off and giving them an old smell. There's obviously the material is used in them is fairly good at either wicking moisture away or not starting to smell the minute you put your hands in there and sweat a little bit. So these are still my go-to gloves for wet weather. They're a decent set of gloves, good reflectors on them, good everything like that. The one thing I will say against these gloves, and in fact there's several things I will say, is the wiper. So any normal wet weather gloves should probably have a wiper on this sort of thumb or this finger or something like that, and this one is kind of straight back. It's usually on the side, and it's works fine as a wiper. My gripe is there's no wiper on this side, so if you're sitting at the lights clutched in about to pull off, you're kind of like I can't really and for what it would have cost, I guess, to put another wiper on that side, why isn't there a wiper on that side? The other problem I have with them is they have this sort of thing on the back, the H2O blade, and I don't know what sort of fucking mutated fucking crazy hands you're supposed to have that you can do this and get it up to your face and actually hit your visor with this little blade, as opposed to just wiping it along the leather on the cuff. If your hands are like that, it's not going to get enough of an angle to have that sitting proud of the rest of the glove. So it sounds like it's it was a reasonable experiment, I suppose, but for 150 quid pair of gloves, you don't want experimental, you want works every time and good. So I'm not a fan of the sort of rain shoving away capabilities of these gloves. Aside from that, they're a very decent pair of gloves, good and warm, good Velcro on them. They zip up a bit so they can tighten up against your jacket. Good protection on them, so if you come off, you can scrape along for a little bit. Thankfully I haven't had to test that at all, and good knuckle related stuff. But 6 months in, would I buy these again, given the lots of choice there is on the market? Probably not, if I'm honest. There are better gloves out there at the same price point, the price point being about €150. There are better gloves that are not trying to be smart or clever with this sort of thing, and that have wipeage on that side and everything like that, but probably not much better in terms of quality and overall fit and etc. The one thing I'll say with Knox gloves, and with all Knox gloves, is buy the size bigger than the size that you want. I'm a these are what, XL. I went to the measurement guide on Knox's website, and I was like, it said I was an L, and then I ordered these and I wasn't. I was an XL. So go up a size. They're probably not going to be swimming on you. They're actually a fairly small size. So that's the Knox 02 Outdry. Alright, so the observant among you would notice that I've been using these for a little while as well. So these are the Knox Handroid. And they're considered one of the sort of top of the range gloves. These are the Handroid Pod. Now the difference between a Handroid and Handroid Pod is Handroid has the big sort of gauntletty bit here that goes over your thing. These have a much thinner sort of a thing, which I think can go under your jacket as well as over. So, but I usually put them, over anyway. The selling point of these is, they got this sort of thing. There's lots of material between your knuckles and the road. I don't know how much that would do for keeping your fingers straight in and off, so that like if you put your fingers out, you don't crush your fingers up. Big ignorant plastic thing on the back that I just broke. I just broke it. There you go. Let's get it back in there. Big ignorant plastic thing on the back, which I'm not even sure what it's supposed to do apart from retain these things. But with any pair of gloves, and especially ones that you want to be protective, you want lots of material between, lots of ability to scrape your hand off of a hard surface for as long as possible without it touching skin. So these sort of fit the bill. There's a good solid bit of material in there. These broke in nicely. They're very comfortable. They're kangaroo leather and etc. It started to discolor a bit there, but I don't give a shit. It's a pair of gloves. They're supposed to sort of deteriorate over time. I mean, they're not wearing out. They're just sort of discoloring a little bit. So I'm not really gonna be too annoyed over that. The way you put them on is there's a Velcro thing there, and then you push that in and twist it around, and it goes as tight as you want. And these are nice and comfortable. They're breathable. They're not waterproof. They're nice weather gloves, or not pissing down rain weather gloves. Sizing wise, same as the other Knox gloves. Go a size up. Good protection like that. This is handy if you want to take your gloves off. You just pull it out and it goes loose, and you're good to go. As far as protection goes, obviously I haven't gotten to test them, but I'm one of those all the gear all the time sorts of people where it's like if you can buy something that offers you a little extra protection, then it's probably worth doing. They look a bit funny. You get some funny looks. If people get a good close-up look at them, they're like, what the hell is that fucking predator looking shit you're wearing? But I'm gonna believe the hype to an extent that these are not just gimmicky. I've seen some pretty shit gloves out there in terms of the level of protection, and a lot of what does it for me is just if you come off a bike, you're going to stick your hands out like that, and this protection, and then the protection for if you're going to form a fist and hit it there, you're going to come down on this, it's going to offer you a bit of protection, or you're going to come down on this and that's going to offer you a bit of protection. I've seen gloves that have neither of those, so I would be a bit happier with these. Again, same question, if I had the same money to spend again on a pair of gloves, would I buy this pair or another pair? To be honest, I'd be probably closer to buying this pair than I would be with the waterproof gloves. And they seem to have a good reputation. I've yet to see a lot of like battle tested examples where it's like, look at this, it's scraped down and protecting my hands. But again, with gloves and with safety equipment and stuff like that, it really is down to how much you trust the manufacturer. And Knox has a pretty good reputation, and any sort of apocryphal sort of examples you can kind of look at, because every crash or off is different, and it's down to what you trust and what you want to put on there and your budget and everything like that. So these are good gloves because they're they're somewhat visible, they are comfortable, and they go on and off easy, and yeah, they're reasonable. All right, that is the glove roundup. Short and sweet one this week. Hopefully the weather picks up so that there'll be a little more time out on the bike, although I'll be commuting this week, so I shall see you then. Cheers.